The matronly high elf held her newborn daughter in her arms, a bright smile on her warm lips as she looked down at her pride and joy, her firstborn, her Arnara. As she swaddled the young elf, she swayed around the room slowly, softly humming an old elvish tune, one she remembered from her own mother when she was young. The warm summer sun shone down on both of them through the large window that overlooked the common grounds of the Hall of Knowledge. The hustle and bustle of the young students filled the courtyard. Some of the juvenile elves are sitting on comfortable benches made of large carved stone underneath the watchful eye of tall, mature trees. Some are lounged in the thick green grass surrounded by lush gardens of colorful and fragrant flowers. And some are swiftly making their way from one building to another, quickly trying to make it to their next seminar. All under the watchful eye of the knowledge seekers, those in charge of educating and developing the newest generation of high elves, one of which being Arnara's mother, Myrelle. Myrelle and Cordelis tried for many years to have a child of their own. Finally, after many years of trying and many visits to the seer, they were finally blessed with a perfect little girl. Skin soft and fair that soaked up the sun's warm light, and wisps of fiery red hair already curling at the ends. As the older elf stepped fully into the warm light, the newborn's eyes flickered open for the very first time. A loud gasp of shock filled the room from Myrelle's lips. She had expected to see the familiar golden eyes full of radiance and warmth like the light itself, the eyes of the other high elves. But that isn't what she was met with. Instead, deep pools of silver, shimmering and glittering like a full moon on a calm lake. The argent orbs piercing, the kind of eyes that feel like they stare deeply into your soul, into your very being. And if one looked close enough, they would see little flecks of sapphire floating through the silver. Little blue islands in a shimmering moon-soaked lake. These weren't the eyes of the elves. These eyes were unfamiliar. As far back as elvish culture goes, they coveted the light, so much so that it permeated every facet of their lives. Their homes and structures are large monoliths, large pillars clawing towards the sky like a tangled grove, each building trying to vie for as much of the sun's warm light as possible. Their religion focused on the light and the safety, the warmth, and the protection that it offered. Every banner of the high elven kingdom of Wyvertus bared a bright, radiant star, enchanted to pierce the darkness wherever the banner lay. But the orbs that met Myrelle weren't radiant, weren't warm, and weren't the familiar sun. They were cold, piercing, Selenic in nature. That should have been the very first sign that Arnara's life would be unordinary, be unorthodox. But those are stories for another time, for another day.